Hello and welcome to Japan. Welcome to OCE, the Tier 1 Division Season 2, my apologies, Round 3. And this is the Japanese Grand Prix. So these are the top guns. We have 17 drivers on the grid. Now they're making their way out after their qualifying here in Japan. Championship standings leading is going to, well, the championship standings. It's going to be pretty tight at the moment. I'm going to pull that up in a second for you guys. Actually, I don't think I had that as an overlay. Maybe I do. Let's see if I had that there for a second. And there it is, actually. I'll pull that up for a quick second there. Sir Joshi leading that one. 44 points there. Sex 37. Pero 20. Tied with Ambitious Shadow. Exotic 18. Jules and so forth. From there, fastest laps, you can see pole positions. There's two of them at the moment. Go to Sir Joshi. Can Sir Joshi make a third hat-trick of a pole? Very, very possible. Or can the likes of these other drivers take it away? We have a couple of other drivers on the grid that haven't necessarily raced in the division yet. So their pace is probably going to be out there. Fastest laps goes to Jules and Sir Joshi. Let's go back to the track and see what's happening. I'm joined in the commentary box by two wonderful gentlemen that I've worked with before. Welcome, guys. We have both of Iron Giant and Vanzi, great technical commentators. How are you guys going this evening?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad.
So, guys,
yeah, this is the second one I've done today.
Yeah, mate. That's what we do with commentators. And Vanzi's stepped in a few times before to help me out, and much appreciated. Vanzi's not a full-time commentator in any of the leagues, but that's what we like about. Vanzi's a race driver as well. You know, helping me out, guys, because I'm going to be a little bit all over the place this evening after doing a whole bunch of commentary yesterday. I'd have to rely on you guys to give us all that technical aspect as they navigate their way around Japan. So, who do we go on board with as a hot lap?
We've got our first driver out. The first driver out on track is actually Pyro. He is 32 seconds into Sector 1. Looking very, very clean on the softs.
Yeah, looking like a candy cane with that livery, isn't it? Remember, this is multiplayer cars, so these guys get to choose that. So, Pyro at the moment, P2, as we're on board with him. And you guys want to just go give everybody out there how to hook that lap up, where they brake, how to hit the apexes, acceleration, how to hook up a perfect lap.
I mean, we've also got, three drivers on the grid at the moment that are on the medium tyres. So I wonder if a few of them have decided, well, do I qualify on the medium tyres and maybe do a medium soft medium, or a medium soft?
Well, the other thing too with the medium runners right now is they could just be getting a feel for the track during this qualifying session before they throw their actual hot laps down on those soft.
We've got Sir Joshi putting in a 126.5 for the fastest lap. And Pyro put in a 129.5, so that dropped him down to 4th as he's dropping further down the grid.
Maybe it's only early, mate. The first bankers.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Maybe he just wanted to set a banker lap.
Yeah, exactly. So Vanzi, the tyres, as you were saying, what's the different strategy call you think is going to happen?
Well, obviously, safety cars play a factor, but I think we'll see a lot of cars start on the softs here because they are indeed the faster tire during qualifying, especially. We could see soft, medium, soft hards, or depending on the driver and the pace, it could just be a soft medium.
As we see Dougie putting in a fastest lap of 126.2, 0.3 of a second faster than Sir Joshi.
That's right. Dougie's new to this grid at the moment as well. So a lot of these drivers haven't had too much experience with Mr. Dougie. I've had a lot of experience with Dougie. Maybe you guys have. Well, we all know Dougie as we were hanging out before in his Discord server. So one of the drivers just gets completely out of the way of Dougie as he's on essentially a cool down lap. So yeah, well, Mr. Dougie Falcons races in many of the other leagues, and he's a very, very quick driver, potentially up there with the likes of esports drivers, but having fun. So the British driver, you can also catch out those Twitch feeds there as well. You got Guackle TTV, so always trying to support our drivers we can. If you get multiple angles and cameras and all that sort of jazz, that's a lot of fun. Nobody seems to be improving on a dead lap at the moment. Let's go to P13. It needs to get a lap, and that's Julesy. Let's go on board with the whatever coloured striped car, because we don't have manufacturers. I'm just so used to saying let's go on board with the Renault power, but in this case,
I'm on board.
And Julesy currently on a medium tire right now. Probably just trying to get a lap time in that'll count before trying to push hard on those softs.
So those medium tires, like, do they? I mean, you'll chew through obviously those. The tires will be more durable than the softs. P3, Julesy will slot in there with the medium, so that's an impressive time. But yeah, it's 1.2 seconds off the pace of the softs, and that's probably a little worse than what you'd expect, because I would think that those mediums would be about half a second slower than the softs, which means that he's got a little bit more work to do if he wants to catch the likes of Dougie and Sir Josh.
Well, typically with the nature of this track, actually, we're looking even more than a half a second faster on those softs, because those mediums just can't hold the grip through those that flowing first section of left right, whereas the soft can hold a lot better than those mediums can.
So would you want to start on those mediums then and be under attack early in the race?
Well, I mean, obviously with a heavy fuel load, the tires are a little bit more evened out. However, those tires will last you longer on those mediums than you will on the softs. So, I mean, it is a gamble, because you will be under fire immediately off the line. But if you can hold pace, and, Julesy throwing down that third, currently sitting third on those mediums, he could possibly hold back the rest of the field on those mediums and set himself up better for the later end of the race.
So I have a new little... Thank you for that. That's great information there from a non-driver like myself, as I'm on board with Alex, getting completely out of the way, of course. He doesn't want to be messing up anybody's invalidation. Let's go off Sex at the moment, running very high up in the championship. Sex yet to set a time. That's the I was going to say McLaren there for a second, because I saw the black livery, but of course it's a custom car. I'm going to check the weather overlay graphic here that we've just got there. Weather forecast, you can see that I haven't set the hotkey up correctly there at the moment, but it's looking all pretty dry, so nothing these drivers have to worry about at this moment. As we're on board with Sex, 31.4 first sector. 31 flat he needs to get if he wants to catch the likes of Dougie, so he's at least 4 tenths down already. 39.6. Another 2 tenths down. He's got Alex up ahead as well. Well, Alex going to get in the way or not? Or he's going to get slipstream from Alex and a bit of a tow. He will get a DRS regardless of if Alex is there or not. Can you gain a little bit more pace, guys, with the DRS and the DRS? Goes P4. P13 at the moment.
So we've got Joe and Magic that haven't set a lap yet for the qualifying time. Maybe, just maybe, are those two thinking of a strategy of maybe starting at the back of the grid?
And also what happens to the weather as well. We don't get the weather report forecast for the race day. So let us know, please, on Twitch, guys, and welcome there, Basic Kiwi, and anybody else that's listening to the stream at the moment. If you got any information there from the drivers about the forecast potentially for tomorrow, that might be... Sometimes you see a little bit of a reason as to why some people really sandbag their qualifying session, because they know that their dry setup doesn't really... Or they try to qualify on a dry setup knowing that there's on a wet setup.
As we've had one person drop out of the quali session already in Entric. Hasn't set a time, so he'll most likely start from the back of the grid.
So do you guys do that if you have the weather forecast that says it's going to be a completely wet race tomorrow, theoretically soon? Do you just, obviously you're going to set a wet setup? That means your qualifying performance in the dry will be horrendous. Would that be the case that you would do?
Yeah, I mean, yes and no to the performance. I mean, you can get a setup that kind of works in both, but favors more obviously the wet than the dry. But just because it is a dry setup doesn't mean you can't drive it at a decent pace on a dry track.
Yep. So that would be the likes of some of the drivers that are fast, that perhaps aren't setting the laps that they would, the times you would expect them, because knowing that there's maybe something in the forecast. I don't know. That's why the question I was asked. I've seen that before during races when you have those drivers that, it's just like, why are they back at the field there? Why are they having issues? And then all of a sudden you realize it's a wet race, and you're like, that's your question answered. Dougie going
They
even
start
faster.
flying through the pack.
Yeah, they'll have to, obviously, starting at the back. Dougie going a 30.8 flat as Wobbly wobbles his way up into P3 there, but I think Dougie's just going to go even faster at the moment. He's got a 4/10 gap. So Dougie Falcon's the newcomer in here, just as a reserve driver. I'm not sure. He might even be a full-time driver. That's something up to league management, because we're on round 3. Dougie, the nocturnal Dougie per se, the British driver that should be asleep, but he likes to be up at this time in the morning.
Should
Purple
be asleep,
sector.
considering it's 4 in the morning over in Britain. No?
Yep. So and
He
definitely
takes power naps.
he does take. Well, if you got one thing he's going to take right now is a power position, because Luke's going to cross the line and just smash this time again. Now he has almost a second gap over Sir Joshi. 8 temps is the gap.
And Sir Joshi did put a second lap down. However, it was slightly slower, less than 1/10 of a second off his previous best.
So the drivers were in the pits for the last time. Yep, go ahead.
I was going to say, at the moment, Magic just did a lap, and or I think it might have been his out lap, actually. He invalidated.
Yeah, you see a lot of the invalidation, so he's going to be in a little bit of a trouble right now. He's got to get back to the pits as quickly as possible, get a fresh pair of boots on, and get out there and basically do one flying lap.
It depends. He might actually do the flying lap on the set of tyres that he's got on now.
Yeah, would you do that? Is it risky for the tyre wear? Remember,
I mean, yeah,
you're going to put the
risky,
lap in, but
but
then your tyre wear is going to be on those tyres that you start with.
Yeah,
I mean,
true.
It is and it isn't. I mean, it does change your strategy a little bit. However, when you just need to put a lap in, sometimes you have to do what you have to do.
Yeah, that's true. But if he does put this lap in now on those tyres, if he decides to commit to this, will he have enough time to get back to the pits and put some fresh boots on and try it again? Or is this it?
As we actually see Sex LFP come out of the pits for one last, give it one last shot.
Yeah, most
And I
people are
think we
staying
might
in the
actually
box.
see a couple more leaving the pits here soon.
Yeah, well, we've got, Sex LFP and also Big Jim coming out of the pits on outlaps. And
Magic.
Magic's just gone
P13.
to P13.
Yeah.
P13 at the moment.
Is he? Can you guys? Oh, he's definitely not going to be going for another hot lap, because there's a big spin right there.
He's just spun it.
That's the kind of thing we may expect. I've seen a few drivers do that into that first corner. That generally is what's going to happen. So that's what you do if you gamble a lot. Maybe sometimes drivers have disconnection issues and controller issues and things like that at the start. That's the reason why you don't see them necessarily out very quickly. We don't know. Let us know on the Twitch and so forth if there is issues with the drivers. But getting those lap times in is crucially important, because we are in the business center qualifying round now. Just under 2 minutes remaining. So that's why you're going to see a lot of people in the pit, but they're really going to be pushing, aren't they? Because they're still sitting in the box. There's at least half the drivers, the top 4, waiting for the ultimate time to go out.
You look at it; they've only got just under 2.5 minutes to come out and do another lap,
which will be only one flying lap. So it'll be a make or break. This is where you see them invalidate as well. So they push as much as they can. And Codemasters will punish you if you track invalidate.
And then, as you just looking at the grid now, you've got only one person on the mediums, which is Guackle. So if he sets his fastest lap on the mediums, he's going to have. He might be able to undercut, or maybe undercut the whole field if he starts in the mediums.
Well, Jules at the moment is the only one set tyres on the mediums. That's Jules in P4. Not putting another lap in at the moment. Pretty much confident with that time, as Dougie Falcons will not be
And
going.
it doesn't even look like he's leaving the pit either.
No, he's going to stay in there. He's happy with those mediums.
Yeah, he's pretty confident he's going to be within that top 10 on those mediums.
As we've got Sir Joshy and Wobble Candy coming out on outlaps. So they're thinking, can they get one more quick lap in?
Yeah, Big Jim at the moment I'm on board with is improving on his time, but the 31.9, it's not going to quite cut it, mate, because you're going to be looking at the 30s.8. So he's about 1 second off the pace through the first sector alone. We'll go to the McLaren actually running. Sorry, Joe. I always say McLaren because I'm reading the telemetry information. Joe, P6. Joe running high up in this championship as well. The Malaysian driver, I believe, is the flag that he is running under. The bright orange. You'd think he's almost from the Netherlands with that orange and white. 31.2 is his first sector. That is about 5/10 down on provisional pole. 39.3. There's about 2/10 down on there. Going to navigate a couple more corners. Will he improve on his time? He won't be on the top 2 slots, but can he get ahead of Julesy and Sex? He gets ahead, Jules. Just remember, Jules is on those medium tires. So that actually, my telemetry has updated something that says he's not, but I think he's still on the medium tires because he's not going to set a lap. He's on out lap now anyway on softs. So obviously, if Julesy goes faster, then those will be the tires that he starts on. Dougie is on an out lap as well. So this is it, make or break. You guys know the track does rubber in. The temperature increases just a little bit.
I'd have to say that Sir Joshy's thinking he's comfortable with his P2 as he's left the session.
It actually looked like it actually looked like he made a mistake during sector 1 and just decided to retire the car.
Oh. Yeah, because he himself and Dougie were on a outlap, so I mean, maybe, yeah, he decided that, well, that's it. I'm not going to get any higher than what I am, so he's thinking, why not? I'll just retire and start from second on the grid.
Oh, Windows had a big spin there as well. P15. Master Window. He's going to hit there and has to do a couple of little reverses there. And luckily he did it right before the pit lane. But that it means Mr. Window will not be improving on his time.
Oh, and Dougie has just gone off track.
Lucky for Dougie that he not really going to have that much pressure from any other drivers at the moment. He's got a comfortable provisional pole. So maybe he's just trying to push his times to go even faster. But those tyres that he have, well, that won't be obviously his qualifying tyres. That will be the set that he used previously to set that 125.7 on. Qualifying at this point will be over. I don't see anybody else really improving. Maybe the Julesy at the moment, P6. Let's go on board with, which I can't do. There it is. Yeah, my keyboard's not the best condition right now. Unfortunately, during
looks like he's currently 2/10 up through sector 2. See what he finishes with sector 3 here.
No, he finishes into the bits. Yeah,
he knew he was going faster and just decided P6 is where he's going to start on those mediums.
So that is it. Exactly. That is the strategy call, because if he did go faster, he would have to start on the softs.
Exactly.
So there you have it. I'm going to a little replay of that thing earlier, if we could get that. There is what appears to be Magic performing one thing. He's trying to fool your illusions here. He's trying to pull tricks on you, but one thing, Magic, can't pull a trick on us when we can see on board your spin coming out of that first corner. So that's what you will expect. That will most likely happen in this race. We'll see it before and during that. And guys, why is it so hard to navigate that first tricky corner to the right? Anyway, actually, we'll have to go through the run through the order first, and you can answer that question after. Who would like to read through that order real quick? The qualifying results. I'll do it. Dougie Falcons, a newcomer, off the block, coming in there and stamping his place in here. Sir Joshy, Wobbly, Candy, Sex, Joe, Jilsey, Ambiguous Shadow, Peanuts confirmed, Pyro, Alex, J Miles, Magic, Chris Mania, Windu, Gak Wackle, Big Jim, Eccentric will be rounding out there. So look out for those medium tire runners. Obviously, Jules is in a very good position there, running in P6, sorry, my apologies. But obviously, Dougie Falcons almost annihilating the field there by 0.8 of a second quicker. If he gets a good launch off the start of this race, he can build that gap and cover off the likes of Jules that's running in P6.
That's the question. Is he going to be able to?
Sorry, bro, you're cutting off from me a little bit. Apologies for the connection issues. Anybody else speak? Vanzi, you there?
I'm still here. Yep.
Okay, sorry.
It sounds like he's cutting out for me as well.
Sounds like he's cutting out. Yep. Hopefully we'll get him back in a minute. So welcome everybody. This is season 2. This is the top dogs. This is tier 1. It's round 3. So we've already done Russia previously. And now we are arriving in the likes of Japan. Not too far from Russia, actually. Even though Russia is a very big country. It takes quite a while to go from one side of Russia to the other. We're going to go to a formation lap. We'll just quickly show you that tyre information that we brought up before. So our top 5, Dougie all the way down to the likes of Joe are going to be starting on those softs. Jules is going to be running on a different strategy, P6. Then there's a bit of a gap forming down to the likes of P12 to P18 because obviously those drivers outside the top 10 get to choose the tyres that they want to start on. Those drivers that are in the top 10 have to start on the tyres that they have. So Jules was the only one that managed to get those mediums in the top 10. Therefore, he has to stay on those mediums. Anybody else outside there have decided, practically most of those drivers have decided to go to the mediums because their strategy will be to go longer when the front runners box. However, safety cars generally a situation when you're looking at league racing. Any information you have to give us there, what you're going to do for a preparation and so forth there, Vanzi?
I mean, obviously with the formation lap, it's a mixture of, getting those tires warm for that race start, as well as kind of feeling out the car because you are now running at a full load of fuel rather than the bare minimum like you do in qualifying. So the car will feel different. So getting used to that through some of the corners, as well as just, making sure your tires are nice and warm for that race start.
Is it harder to warm up those medium tires than is the soft tires, or is it still the same?
It's a little harder. You got to work a little bit more. Same with the with the hards under safety car. It does take more to heat up mediums. However, you have an entire lap to get them to the ideal temperature.
And if you do get those medium tires to the ideal temperature, and you do take off, obviously the softs still had that little bit better traction, don't they? Obviously, so does that really get that race, that race launch off the line? Is naturally generally always going to be better on those softs, or does it really come down to driver skill?
Well, I mean, everything always comes down to driver skill, right? Whether or not they can handle it. It's just the driver knowing what they're on. So, we got the likes of Julesy starting in that 6th spot. He's going to know he's on those mediums. And
wait, sorry, I'm going to have to cut you off, mate, because we're about to get a race start here at the moment. 5 lights are going to come out. 5 lights in Japan. Hopefully they will. Yes, they will. The drivers are a little bit paused. Look, they jump start, but that is going to be a technical glitch that we've seen this before. And then we are definitely underway now, finally. And it looks like Dougie's got a great launch there. Look out for Sir Joshy there. He's got challenging from Wobble Canby. Sex is in the mix there as well. Wobbly's going a little wobbly around the outside. The Sex is going to make that place up there. Joe is sniffing in there from Julesy as well. Ambitious Shadow. That'll be around out your top 7 at the moment. As we started this Grand Prix, look at Dougie's lead already. 5 tenths, 6 tenths. He wanted to get up the road and out of any possible accidents and collisions that are occurring at the moment, as the drivers are all getting their way through there pretty cleanly, which is very impressive. 17, 18 drivers through those S's as well, and they're all tucked up line astern, all behaving themselves. Very good boys. Making your mothers proud. I'm sure of it. Obviously, there's overtakes that will be occurring through here. Alex getting past Magic, it looks like. Magic in, remember, on those medium tyres. So far, it looks like Ambiguous Shadow is comfortably covering off the likes of Julesy, who's not under any too much pressure at the moment on those medium tyres. They're confirming his way into P9. A little bit of, he's got Peanuts there ahead of him. P8 up ahead from that, you got Ambiguous Shadow. So behind him, it looks like Magic and Alex are having another little bit of a squabble there for P10 position at the moment, but it's still early days. It's only lap 2. How was that race restart for you guys? Race start, sorry, not restart.
Wobbly going a little wide, unfortunately losing out on a position to Sex in that first couple corners. However, right now, I'm currently watching Jules. Looks like he's right on the back on the gearbox of Joe. And Julesy on those medium tires, trying to challenge that soft runner of Joe.
It's impressive, isn't it? This is like last season's winner. Having a little bit of fun at the moment, probably playing with his food, per se. I don't think Joe's having that much fun, isn't it? Looking in his rear view mirror, noticing that he has the driver's champion from last season all over the back of his car. And Shadow's also pretty important. Look at that. You can see the train forming there behind. And this is actually, Joe is 1.2 seconds behind Wobbly Candy. So, yeah, definitely Jules needs to get past Joe. Or remember, he's got those tires. Somehow he has so much more traction, doesn't he? It must be the setup.
So it does look like up front, Dougie has already broken the DRS from Sir Joshi. And then you got Sex right behind Joshi on the bubble of the DRS currently.
Now Jules is going to make that run around the outside of Joe. And he gets it done. It looks like Joe's going to be actually under pressure from Ambiguous Shadow as well. Joe could be losing a couple of positions in just a couple of corners here. And this DRS has not even been enabled yet in Japan. So there's going to be a drag race down this back straight. And somebody's going to have to back off.
Joe losing out on that position. That's a hard corner to... You can really lose traction pretty easily around that last corners. So unfortunately, him not getting a good run now puts him under fire from Ubiquitous Shadow and Peanuts. So
we've lost Giant at the moment. I wonder if we can get back there in there because I can't hear him. There's technical glitches. We shall see. If there's a way, where's Joe running in the Drivers' Championship standing at the moment? I think he's definitely right up there. It looks like confirmed as making a huge mistake. Yes, he has somewhere. On the back of Magic at the moment, who's on the back of Windu. Joe is going in Ambiguous Shadow, so somehow Joe is getting his way back up there. Not somehow, let's go on board with Joe. Under pressure from the Shadow. Joe's casting a shadow on the Shadow. I'm running out of puns. Let's see what's going on. It's too early in the morning for me right now to focus on that.
It's all right. Watching this, you got 3 cars now going through that final couple corners here before the start-finish line. And DRS should be open for those, for Ubiquitous Shadow and Peanuts.
Yeah, Peanuts, look at the pressure he's putting on the back right of Shadow. And these guys need to get past Joe. Joe making a mistake, and there's a little bit of a tap.
Lock up. Looks like Ubiquitous Shadow going to take advantage of that. And Peanuts trying to stick his nose in. Looks like he gave Joe a little bit of a love tap. Joe's still on track, keeping it pointed in the right direction.
Job done, says Shadow, as the battle behind with Alex on the back of Window. And then Magic has been called into action as well here. So this is going to be a nice little squabble for these positions. Look at Alex's bright purple livery there. Window's got the nice Australian-esque green and gold. So where's an overtaking point for you? Because obviously Window is being held up too by Joe. and overtaking opportunities? Vanzi, as a driver, what's one of your favourite places you'd like to overtake in here? Vanzi, you there?
Yes, I've been muted for unknown reasons.
Yeah, I'm saying overtaking opportunities on my board
So
with
his
Magic.
overtaking zone right here. This, if he was close enough, he'd be able to try to put it down the inside. Unfortunately, was not close enough to capitalize on that. But it does look like he got a little bit better of a run now with the DRS. Going to take the inside line against Alex here down into turn 1.
Looked all too easy, didn't it? Alex doesn't look like he put too much of a fight up. Both
It does look like we may be at the point where, for some of these guys, the softs are starting to fall off, where the mediums are now, have matched pace.
So we'll see right now as we go on board with Jules at the moment. He has those medium tyres. Let's see if he's going to be able to bring it to Wobbly Candy. This could be the point that you mentioned, that those tyres will start going up, which means Jules says, thank you very much. I will just sit there and wait for those soft tyres to just run down to the carcass so that I can just drive past you in the pit lane, because he's on a different alternative strategy. Pit lane around here will cost you 29 seconds, give or take. So at the moment, everybody is running on track from P1 to P15, 26 seconds off the leader. So if Dougie was the box right now, he would actually be in P16. So an interesting call. Maybe a little earlier than that, but obviously everybody still has to box. Apart from the likes of Chris and Piero at the moment, who have boxed obviously for some sort of collisions or accidents. Piero will be running a lot deeper into this race, having the hard tires. Chris has decided to go mediums, which means he will definitely have to box again. Most likely he wants to go to the softs towards the end of the race.
It looks like we got our first couple penalties already on laps 5 or 6. Wobbly picking up a 3-second, as well as Confirmed. It did look like Confirmed had a spin, drop down the order a little bit. He is now back on track.
I was going to say, maybe corner cutting. I noticed in the Tier 2 race, there was a few corner cutting penalties that went out, but also I can say a few drivers actually got penalties for speeding into the pit lane.
Yeah, but
and with,
is this a hard track to break in time for the pit lane? Is it tricky?
I wouldn't say it's hard, but it's definitely a lot shorter than most of the other tracks. It's definitely not the shortest, but it's also definitely not the longest. Because you'll see, if you are still on board with Wobbly or Jules, they are coming down towards that heavy braking zone in Sector 3. And it's after that chicane, that's where the turn-in for pit lane is.
So it's just as you basically enter the front straight.
Yep, exactly. So you're already wanting to get on power like you would the straight, but obviously you're turning into pit lane, so you have to be prepared to hit that braking zone for the pit lane. Magic
squabbling, exactly. I just caught that on board as you mentioned there. I was looking at it going past, going, wow, that's it's a big commit, isn't it? You can't change your mind last minute at that pace.
No,
you'll be in that barrier in the middle.
No, you can't. And still on board here with Jules. He's doesn't look like he's found the way around Wobbly Candy yet. However, still on the back of his gearbox.
Oh yeah. I reckon if he gets any closer to Wobbly Candy, he'll.
It looks like he's going for the outside line here. Maybe a switchback. Oh, going to stay behind him for another corner.
As we see into that corner where he tried to do the overtake, Wobbly Candy actually had a lock-up.
That's a very easy corner to lock up, and of course, as we're talking, Julesy making the move stick around the outside.
Exactly right. Jules is thinking to himself, not just quite done yet. Wobbly Candy's coming back there with the DRS, but Jules is in the cockpit there and saying the famous word that we all like to say. Job done. Let's see Sex going into the pits there. So this is the crossover time for those softs to switch to the mediums for these soft runners. No, he's gone double softs.
He's gone to another set of softs. And,
So it looks like
we've also got Alex coming into the pits as well.
So the runners coming back on a softs looks like they're going to be doing a soft medium.
With Alex going on to a set of hards.
So Alex going to go a set of hards. Hards were on to the end of the race, so naturally I would expect. Am I right?
Well, I mean, a few of the drivers in the tier 2 race actually went to the hards at this stage of the race, and they were actually able to get through until the end of the hards. So it's an interesting strategy, as I said, for them to go onto the hards.
Yeah, definitely committing, with the pace of this group, looking at trying to make those hards work to make up for that pit stop, because this is not a very long pit stop compared to some of the other tracks on the schedule.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, the interesting thing will be, when do you think the top runners will actually pit for a fresh set of boots? Like, when do you think, like, Dougie Falcon, Sir Joshy, and also Jules will pit for a fresh set of boots?
Let me see if I can look something up here.
Well, I would think, looking at the telemetry at the moment, Dougie's lapping in the 130s at the moment on those 8-lap softs. You have to go back to the likes of even the other drivers that are running in P4, Wobbly Candy, and Shadow, Peanuts. They're in 132s and 133s. So if you are still lapping quicker, and even by 2 seconds a lap, than those other runners, well, obviously those tyres are still good. The only thing you got to be careful about is just not cooking them too much. Sorry, go ahead, Buns.
And Magic has just received a 3-second penalty for corner cutting by the looks of it. So that's the third driver today with a penalty.
Correct. Buns, did you have information for us there or not?
I was actually pulling something up here. It looks like who was it? No, I can't even find him.
We got a run on Joe on Peanuts. We've seen these two guys battling it out so far in the first 2 races. Joe getting the job done as Sir Joshy is boxing from P2 or 3, I think he was, but it's not
from
provisional.
P2.
Yep, Sir Joshy is in there. Must feel
He
so
is pitting
slow.
to the hards.
So he's going to be running to
Yeah,
the end of the race.
And we'll have to keep an eye on the gap between Dougie and Julesy now. Julesy obviously on those mediums doing the medium strategy from the start.
At the moment, Dougie has a lead of 8.1 seconds over Jules. But it was interesting because in the tier 2 race, a few of the drivers were actually catching them on the mediums or the hard tyres, and in say the first sector, and then they'd sort of drop off in the second sector.
Well, the first sector being the fast flowing left and right kind of uphill. I don't even know what to call it. It's a lot of fun to drive when you drive it right. But you can see, Julesy, from it looks like we got Dougie going into the pits now.
Yes, Dougie's going in for a fresh set of boots.
Because that lap alone, Julesy was almost a second faster. Because I just saw the time falling.
And Dougie is actually going to a set of medium tyres and dropping down to P3.
Exactly. Dougie's got to get out of this battle. I'm seeing at the moment there with Milesy, Sex, Peanuts' box, Big Jim. Look at this huge squad. Dougie gets ahead of this. This is what you want to be, because this is at least a 5-car battle. Last thing you want to be is squabbling it up with these guys.
Dougie went from P1 when he came into the pits. He's out in P4.
Yeah.
Just
Now
behind Shadow.
And the 3 cars in front of him have not pitted yet. Dougie going a little wide. He's got that soft runner who, with those old tires compared to the new, Dougie is going to be faster. Really anybody behind, behind him is going to be faster, but, it really just goes to show you how worn those tires can feel.
It's going to be as I said, it's going to be interesting to see as when there's Wobbly Candy and also Ambiguous Shadow pit for a fresh set of boots.
Exactly.
I mean, they're on what you may as well say 11 lap old softs. I don't think the soft tires will hold out much longer.
Looks like
Wobble Candy's
go on
boxing.
board now with Sir Joshi.
As we're saying, Wobbly Candy's into the pits for a fresh set of boots. Gone to the mediums.
You go on board right now with Sir Joshi. He is currently, on those fresh hards versus Sex right behind him on a fairly fresh set of softs. And my interval board just went away.
Yeah, that's fine. It's a normal.
Yeah, it did it in the Tier 2 race as well. The interval went for about a half a lap.
I see some of it starting to pop back up, but you got Sex now trying to make a move on that hard runner, because this is the time where those softs should be faster than those hards. But Sir Joshi making that car as wide as possible through those corners, keeping him behind him.
It's very interesting to see like some of the front runners in the championship towards the back of the pack.
And this is not an easy circuit to race on. So many corners, fast corners at that. This track can really change up, how the drivers feel comfortable on the track, and then you start racing on it, and it can really change things up because right now we have battles kind of happening all over the place. Currently, we have a train from Sir Joshi's Sex, and it looks like Window may be getting close to that as well. Ooh.
As Sir Dougie sets a fast first sector with a 40.034.
And Dougie currently does have the fast lap. It's a 129 flat now. It was a 129.5.
Well, according to according to the board that I've got, it is a 129 flat. For some reason, the telemetry that I use didn't want to catch up.
Takes a second sometimes. Well, he had just crossed the line with that 129 flat.
Yeah, because he was slow in the first sector. He only had a first sector at 32.3, and then fastest second sector and fastest third sector.
We'll have to keep an eye on Jules right now because he's still out on those mediums, has an 8.4 second lead over Dougie.
Yeah.
However, still has to make the pit stop. So depending on when he pits, he just picked up a penalty, a 3-second penalty, or exceeding track limit.
Yeah, that's interesting. Why would he pick up a penalty so deep into this race? Because he's got a clear 8-second gap over Dougie. Dougie's setting 1 minute 29s. Jules is setting 131s.
And this track is pretty easy to exceed track limits in some of these locations, especially through, I would say the easiest sector is Sector 3 to get exceeding track limits, because when you drive the chicane, you really want to get up on those curbs. However, if you take a little too much, the game will penalize you.
We have a lot of drivers with penalties now.
I think Peanuts is getting past
1,
Alex.
2.
Job done for Peanuts. He's going to move himself up into P9. Further up the field, we're going to have to look at this battle of Sir Josh. He's actually in Big shadow. That could be job done on Joe. It will be. Move himself up into P6. Fresher tyres. Grippier tyres. Sir Joshy, wow, absolutely amazing, isn't it? He's right on the back of 6-lap tyre running soft tyres of 6 and looking to make a move.
It also looks to be Wobbly Candy's actually catching Window.
Window on those 14-lap-old tires. We'll have to see when those medium starters decide to pit for those new tires and what they decide to go to.
Yeah, well, like
we are over.
We've got 3 drivers that haven't pitted yet from the mediums.
Exactly, and looking at it, we're now over halfway through the race, so it looks like they're going to be doing a medium soft strategy.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe we'll see the medium tire runners go until maybe lap 18 and run maybe 9 laps on the softs.
Well, we did see, I think it was Dougie ran at least 10 laps.
Dougie
ran 12 laps. Dougie ran 12 laps on those softs.
Yeah.
So they can last up to 12 laps, which is... I can't math right now. We're 11 laps from the end of this... 11 or 12 laps away from the end of this race, so we could see those medium runners come in within the next lap or so, or a fresh set of softs.
Yeah, Sex and Sir Joshy at the moment, sorry, not Joe, battling it out there. It looks like Sir Joe is just biding his time at the moment because he has the tyres that will go deeper into this race. Put the pressure on the medium runner of Sex, sorry, the soft runner of Sex. He's going to have to try to make those tyres go to the end of this race. He can't actually. Sex has to take another tyre choice. He's already boxed 7 laps on those softs. He's done 8 laps right now. There it is. There's the call from Jeff into the pits. That's going to cost him quite a few positions at the moment. He's going to hear those cars cruising around. At least 1 or 2 positions. He's going to drop back into the clutches, maybe of Shadow. Further down, they're going through the final corner at the moment.
It looks like Window has pitted for his first pit stop, likely his only. Onto a fresh set of softs he goes.
But currently 45 seconds off the lead.
Julesy losing a lot of time. Last I looked, it was an 8-second lead. Now we are down to 3.6.
Yeah, Julesy, remember, still yet to box. He's lapping 131s. Dougie's lapping 129s. Further down the field there, Wobbly County's in the 130s. That's about it. Most of the guys are in the 132s or 131s, so there's two different, basically, strategies at play at the moment. Dougie is very looking comfortable to win this race, having the fastest lap so far, no penalties as well. Doesn't have to box, can make these mediums run to the end, and there it is, Julesy from the lead of this race. Finally decided enough is enough. 17 laps on those tires, and get some fresh boots on.
It looks like he should be falling out around fifth place, if my math is right.
Yeah, he's going to lose one position at the moment, and then he will be regaining. There it is at the moment. So, yep, P3.
Oh.
Get
J
on.
Miles coming in and P5 coming in for his pit stop. So Julesy coming out in third. Currently 3.3 seconds in front of Wobbly Candy.
Yeah, Miles had the box as well. It's a very long time, 17 laps on those tires. Must be getting to a threshold of whether they're going to pop. Deciding not to take that gamble because they want to run those softs right towards the end on a light fuel load. Joe not being able to make too much gain on the shadow. Still been tucked up behind this car for a long time right now. Joe wants to get past, but remember Joe's on the hard tires, so he's not getting the traction that he needs. And because Shadow, without any time penalties at the moment, and on fresher mediums, is looking pretty good.
Well, and Joe has to be careful now here too, because you got, oh, it looks like Joe made a little bit of a mistake. Turned in on the grass, allowing Sex by. Now Sex is going to see what he can do against Ubiquitous Shadow, as he is within 1 second. Sex currently on those fresher mediums.
So the leader of this race is Dougie Falcons, has joined the league recently, and well, he's annihilating the league at this point, isn't he? 17 seconds up the road from Sir Joshi. So Dougie is definitely bringing us to this league at the moment.
It actually looks like Julesy coming hard at Sir Joshi now. Within 1 second, Jules on those fresh softs. Sir Joshi, 8-lap old hards.
Expect to see Julesy getting the fastest lap soon. He's getting tucked up by Joshi. Now he has to get past Joshi. He knows it. He's not thinking about a battle with Josh. He's thinking about a battle with Dougie, because Dougie's just going further and further up the road. So he wants to get as close as possible and get on with this gap. He's 18.4 seconds off the lead at the moment. So he can't afford to just be wasting time squabbling around with these drivers that are on hard tires. He can drive around the outside of them. He can find the traction. Let's see if Julesy can do it.
It looks like he should have a good run coming out of this corner. Will have the DRS to be able to make that overtake down the straightaway. And there it is.
Job done.
Getting it done.
Exactly. Job done, Julesy. Get back there to your team and demand a pay rise for that performance. You need to get it. But you have a big mountain to climb right now with basically 8 laps to do it. 18-second gap to Dougie. That's going to be a tall order.
Now, the other thing, too, is that I actually completely forgot about is penalties. He's actually got to get 3 seconds up the road from Sir Joshi to keep it at the end of the race.
Exactly. That's going to... what do you think, guys, on Twitch? That's a tall order. Even for some of the best drivers.
Looks like 7 laps to go here. Currently already got 8 tenths over him. It is possible, but those softs will start to fall off. And those hards will maintain their speed, so we will see what happens.
Unfortunately, we've lost Iron again for some technical glitches. Hopefully, he'll be able to sort it out and come back in the commentary box with us.
Looks like we still got a battle raging on for that 5th spot. Sex trying to make a move right on the gearbox of Ubiquitous Shadow here.
Hey, Biggles, is there any chance you could send me a gaming boy?
I can't say on broadcast. Perhaps Vanzi can. Job done there for Sex, making his way past with fresher tyres. On Ubiquitous is also running on the medium, so both these drivers serving penalties. Unfortunately, Sex has 3 seconds more. Sex currently at the moment 6 seconds penalties, so even though he manages to get past, he has to get on with it up the road. Those penalties will always come back to bite you every single time. And most of those penalties really don't get removed too often by the stewards, because if it's clean racing like that, then that is just the driver penalty. Other times when obviously at the start of races and things where people actually have to go off the track and get out of the way, well, that's a gimme that they, those penalties would be removed because of the fact that the driver was trying to take avoiding actions, like it is in the real world, in the real F1. It's just that the real F1 doesn't instantly slap a penalty onto the drivers. Every time they make a mistake, they have to review it. But they also have a team of people to do it live, whereas we just sit here and watch this stuff for fun. There's the tyre strategies at the moment. So a couple of drivers on the hards, a lot of drivers on the mediums. Softs are the choice for the final run of this. And Dougie, what happened to Dougie? Am I not mistaken? Dougie's taken an extra pit stop. So he was leading this race by almost by about 15 seconds. And it's decided, well, I'm getting bored out in front. I need to do something here. Is he going to try to prove himself? What do you think?
He might be going for a fast lap.
Yeah, but fast lap is 1 point. He's compromised potentially. Is that 18 points for a P1?
Oh, that is true.
25 for a P1. It would have been 25 for a P1. So
yeah, he's gambling 25 points on.
Well, yeah, yes and no. He is taking a little bit of a gamble. He's already on the back of Sir Joshi at the moment. And if he can make a clean way around and maintain within 3 seconds of Jules, he will take the win. And
Exactly.
I think Dougie knew that, which is why he pitted again.
Well, Dougie knew coming to the league. It's also still a gamble because remember, you can back off there. He is the fastest man on the track by far. Obviously, there's fresh tyres. But remember, you still have to overtake drivers. And that is always not an easy task because of what happens. We get a bit of a tangle, lose a front wing, lose a bit of damage, and your race strategy is over. However, if you make it work, and you can snatch your way through the field, dig your way through the field, or swim your way through the field, then that will be definitely the top step of the podium.
And it does look like he has gotten around Sir Joshi. And already closing in on Jules. Jules on those 4-lap old softs. Whereas Dougie on those fresh softs. Safety car.
Who's that for?
That is for... Where's the car off? Looks like Sector 1. Chris Mania.
Ooh.
Did not see what happened.
I think
I don't know
we'll
who's
miss
where
that.
on the track. Julesy coming into pit as well as Sir Joshi. and Wobbly Candy. All three of them going to be on fresh rubber. Going to battle it out. Looks like Dougie's the only one of the front runners not to come in.
There we go. Just found out why Chris Meyer actually DNF. He had terminal damage. So that may be why he DNF'd.
It looked like on the track map, it looked like he may have spun it off in sector 1 and hit a wall then.
I mean, as you can tell,
So I'm trying to figure out here.
Isn't it pretty sure? When you've got runners at the back.
Sorry, you cut out there, but the thing is Dougie stayed out and got ahead of him, so they are now officially a lap down. Biggles, are you still there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Looks like Lawless had another disconnect. And it does look like Dougie actually picked up a 5-second penalty for what the game calls a severe collision. However, he may be able to get that one removed as under safety car. He was hit from the rear end, which gave him the penalty.
So it's going to be sprint race to the end at the moment. The safety car is going to come in. They're not going to have the DRS anymore. That will not happen because we only have 2 laps left in this race. And you need 3 of them for the safety car. Sorry, for the DRS conditions. So at the moment, Dougie's gap is all the way collapsed. However, he's going to know for a fact that Julesy and Sir Joshy have those time penalties. Actually, Sir Joshy does not. My apologies. Only Jules there, so he's got a bit of a buffer between himself and Sir Josh. They all have the fresh rubber. Obviously, Dougie's rubber is a little bit more worn, but his rubber's only a little bit more worn under the safety car conditions. So essentially, they would be almost the same. And a big shout out. Yep.
Yep, and with Jules having that 3-second penalty for for exceeding track limits, he's going to need to make sure he can at least get away from ubiquitous shadow far enough to where he can still take a podium. Because with the safety car this late, it can really throw those podium positions.
Yeah, Vunzy, as a driver, what do you do under the safety car right now? We're going to board with Dougie. So you're getting that tyre temperature in there. You can see the race control saying safety car in this lap. It has to be because we literally will not have enough laps. As a Dougie, essentially will be in control of this race. He's going to be the safety car. He's going to go when he wants to go, I believe. Will be the choice.
Yep, so it's all on when he wants to go. Now, it is a short run from that final chicane to the start-finish line. So we'll see if he goes right away or if he wants to wait a second.
Look up that bunched up at
as a driver with this race. Yep, exactly.
Here it is. He's on the throttle. Flat out pedal to the metal. And he's gone. 1.5 seconds already. He must be the safety car restart master.
So the thing is, there was still a lapped car between Dougie and Jules. So there will be a blue flag for that driver as
Wobbly gets past Ambitious.
Yeah, because Ubiquitous has 12-lap old mediums, and Wobbly on those fresh set of softs.
Joe's going to make a run on window. Can he get it done yet? At the moment, the safety car, remember, is going to bunch everybody up. So we have a 9-second, 10-second gap back down to Alex at the moment. There's a bit of a run on the inside there of Joe. He's going to try to get past. Window's just not giving that position up, is he? Window's going to try to close on the outside. They're going to have a drag race down here, but the inside line will go to Joe. And it could be job done for him, as it looks like Window's under pressure too from J Miles. That's P10. So these guys are digging deep to get some points here. Throwing everything on the table. J Miles wants to get past Window. Window does not want J Miles to get past him. Peanuts is sniffing any potential points for him in the championship. You need those crucial points. J Miles, I think it might be at the point where he's going to get that DRS activation down the main straight. Tucked up behind. Going to go deeper in the braking here. This is where you need to get it. You have the inside line. Force your opponent off a little further there. Magic and Sex a little further up. Squabbling for that position. You expect Sex to get past. Magic losing another position too to Joe. But this battle here for the final points paying position is still occurring here as we're on the last lap of round 3. This is the Japanese Grand Prix, and this is OCE Racing League. Dougie looks like he's going to cover everything off here, close the door, and win this one. There's not much that the driver can do. He does pick up a penalty, but actually looks like Dougie has picked up. This is going to change things big time. That's a 5-second penalty.
That was under safety car for somebody hitting him.
Yeah, most likely will be removed. Saw a car going very wide off there as well. Here we go. So Dougie only has a few more corners to navigate at the moment. You can see as we're on board with the British driver here, a couple more corners. Dougie Falcons entering in the league to take the victory. There it will be. He will be replaced there by Julesy. There will be some questions down to the FIA stewards there. He's going to lose another position there. Sir Joshi will cross the line as well. So Sir Joshi, Jules, Dougie, Hibika Shadow will slot out there. What we can look how close they are crossing the line. Almost every driver's crossed the line almost instantaneously. Ugh, sorry. Dougie. Kira said, let's go Dougie. So there'll be questions obviously down at the FIA stewards report because that 5-second penalty that Dougie was slapped onto. Windu will get the driver of the day. Will be under review. However, results are results, but they're only early results.
Provisional results.
Provisional results, that's correct. And take that champagne there, Sir Joshi. He would definitely move his way up in the championship, but we're yet to confirm that. Guys, we'll read through that final race results. Well, not final, but obviously to be debatable. But as you see is what you get at the moment.
Unfortunately, I had a bit of technical difficulties. Didn't actually get to see the end of the race. My computer decided it wanted to shut down.
So ending this, we've got Sir Joshi in the 1, Jules in the 2, Dougie Falcons in the 3, Ubiquitous Shadow in the 4, Wobbly Candy in the 5, Joe round 6, J Miles 7, Magic 8, Window 9, Piero 10, rounding out the points paying positions, and then we've got Sex, Alex, Peanuts confirmed, and I'm not on the right screen. I can't scroll down the list.
It's all right, mate. I got it here on the screen. Yeah, Peanuts confirmed. Big Jim,
so
Chris,
Big Jim,
Guackle.
Chris Mania, Guackle, Eccentric rounding out the field, and it looks like 2 DNFs. Chris Mania or 3 DNFs, sorry.
Yeah, Chris at the moment is confirming in the chat that most likely that will be removed from Dougie.
And also, we do have, because Big Jim has actually just said in one of the chats he is sorry for the tap under safety car.
So as we
distracted
kind of
and
predicted,
sulky.
guys, as we kind of predicted, let's not. I mean, obviously, Sir Joshy, fantastic job. That probably will definitely be at P2 there for Sir Joshy. Jules will be on the final step of the podium still. In P3, Dougie would be obviously the net leader, obviously pending the stewards' decisions, but so far it seems to be pretty well concrete and confirmed in the chat. Pending anything, but Dougie will also get that extra point for the fastest lap there, 1:27. It was Dougie's race. We all saw that. Congratulations to Dougie. Dominating the race there. Obviously, Sir Joshy and Julesy battling their way in the championships. They need those points there. Joe's dropping a little bit there. P6 there. Wobbly Candy, a good drive from him today, P5. And Bigger Shadow as well, securing all important points. Piro at the moment, P10, the Malaysian driver, not in the position. He's only getting that 1 point. And Peanuts out of the points and so forth. That'll be it, guys. Chris Mania. Anything else?
It's going to be very interesting come next week. Like the race next week and all that sort of stuff. Like where the drivers might actually finish.
Well, if you want to find that out, everybody, and you want to keep on tuned into what's going on and check those results that will be happened according to the stewards, click that Discord button. If you're watching this on Twitch or YouTube, you can see all the information underneath the video feed there. There's Reddit, there's a website, all the goodies are there. The guys jump into the league, have a chat. There's a lot of Australians, there's Malaysians, there's Kiwis, all over the place. Obviously, there's Dougie there, and that British flag in there. People are like, what? Shouldn't he be asleep? Oh, Dougie doesn't sleep. Congratulations, Dougie. And congratulations to all the other drivers. This has been the round 3, season 2 of the Tier 1. Japan, stamp that one off your passport. Where are we going to next, guys?
I think...
I was trying to find that information, actually.
Not 100% sure where we're off to next week. I think it...
Do have the track calendar at the start of this. Let's have a look at that real quick there. I'll mute the audio so you're not worried about it. That's not the current the Drivers' Championship standings at the moment. That's from the previous race. Just pulling this up so we can get the calendar up real quick to let everybody know where the next track will be. Where they're going to fly us to? They're going to fly us to Mexico on January the 31st, guys. So there you have it.
Yes, we're off to Mexico next week. Mexico, Austria, and then Singapore.
All right, fantastic. Thank you very much, guys, for helping me out in the commentary box. My apologies for my lack of commentary there. Just a little exhausted from that long flight.
I could say,
We will definitely
don't you worry. I had a few technical difficulties and computer decided to shut down. And
we've had that. Luckily, it was yourself and not me because we would have lost the stream. So at least we didn't lose that one. Yeah.
True, very true. Might have to do a bit of a PC cleanup during the week.
Yeah, I think we all need that. I'm running out of hard drive space myself. Thank you to all the drivers. Thank you to everybody for watching the video. And obviously watching the video back later as well because the drivers can't watch it until they've returned back to the pit lanes. They'll be watching it later on. Thank you very much, too, for the team at OCE that put together that fantastic, what do you call it? The highlights videos that you find on YouTube as well. I tend to watch them all the time after these league races because that was always snapped together and it's very exciting. You want to get a little bit of a summary of what's going on in the seasons and all the races.
It's the videos are actually very interesting. Like to see sort of all the battles that are happening.
Exactly, and they put that takes a lot of time too as well to go through an hour and 30 minutes for a race and qualifying and highlight all those important parts. So congratulations to the team. This is what you get. This is why this is a fantastic league to be a part of. And as I mentioned, all the links are there. Formula One is what it's about. Guys, thank you very much. Stay safe. See you at the same time next week.
Same time next week.
And thank you, Vans. All right, see you guys. Bye-bye.